What's up, YouTube? DJ Brock here, Party Every Night DJs, PartyEveryNightDJs.com. Today we're going to talk a little bit about booking. It's very simple, not a lot of steps to it. Booking, contract, deposit. Not going to go 50 minutes like I did the last video, even though I had a lot to talk about this one. This one's going to be pretty simple and to the point. I never really think that I'm like the best DJ in the world or I know everything, but I do know a lot and I'm very knowledgeable because I do stay in tune with everything that's going on in the event industry world. I'm a member of bookmorebrides.com. You know, Wedding Wire is a good place to get on and get tips and tricks. They have a lot of people on there you can talk to. But it's really just staying up with technology and having the tools that are going to make brides and grooms go, wow, this is the guy we need. Now, most DJs, you know, back in the day when I was still using CDs, that's how long I've been in it for. I might look really, really young. Let's get that out of the way. I turn 30 years old on March 7th, so clap to me, pat on the back, my dirty 30 coming up. So I've been doing this for around 12 years. You know, right when I got out of high school is when I started. And back then we did not have any other way to book somebody other than to really be in person. I know email was still just coming around, but we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have a lot of the social media. We didn't have a lot of way to contact brides. You know, you kind of had to go sit down with them face to face. Now, I'm not saying not to do that. That is a very important step in booking your bride and groom, is getting to know them. When you get to, you know, meeting your bride and groom and it's the booking process, let's get something out of the way. They have a lot of questions. It's not all about you and your date being available and how much you cost or charge. It's simply about their questions and how you're going to make them feel comfortable. The first thing you got to get out there to them is that booking is simple. And a lot of people think it's a process. A lot of people think it's signing a lease for a house, and that's how it used to be because there was a lot of things you had to do. There's a lot of papers involved. We're going to simplify that for you today. It's very simple. I don't want to say as much in my videos, but I feel like I overwhelm myself and I have to say so much that those just kind of go in there. But I promise you I don't do that on a microphone. Now, what I've been using for, I'd say a few years now, it's called Right Signature. You can simply go to www.rightsignature.com, check them out. I'm going to explain all about this and why it's good. Now, back in the day, you used to use paper contracts. You used to show up, have the contract pretty much already drawn up, have their information on it. They would sign, or there'd just be a lot of lines that they have to fill in, period. When you first make contact with your bride or groom, the first thing you want to do is obviously find out what day is it, the times, where is it at, location, what do they want, you know, what do they need. Now, when it comes down to all the other stuff, once they decide, you know, once you impress them with your professionalism and not try and upsell them and push them the extra uplighting, you know, once you guys have definitely, you know, reached out to one another, you're like, oh my God, this is a great bride and groom that I'm going to be working with. You know, because everybody hates when you work with them too much online and then you end up going to the wedding and this is the first time you've ever met them. It can be a little awkward because you don't really know how to feel them out because there's so many important things on the line that are coming up. I mean, you got the introductions coming up, and you don't want to be, I guess, not acquaintances when you start lining them up. Like, you want to be able to joke around with them, know what kind of humor they like, if they don't like humor, you know, if they're straight to the point. And the best way to do that is by sitting down with them. Now, you can still book the bride and groom before you even sit down with them. You can do that. I do it probably 80% of the time. They're booked before I ever sit down with them. Now, the reason for that is I do very well with talking to them on the phone. You know, a lot of times they're an hour away from me, or maybe they don't have the time to travel. So I always make sure I get a phone call in. You know, tell them, you know, all about me, ask them all about them, ask them all about what they want, and make sure that I'm listening to them. If I just go, okay, well now, you know, $100 to book, we can get this locked down today. You know what, they're probably not going to book you. They're probably going to give you the, well, we're in the midst of talking with other DJs, we'll let you know, and then you probably never hear from them again. I used to be that way. I used to be a little pushy. Now I'm just like, hey, I want to be their friend, act like I've known them for 10 years, things like that. Now, you get to the booking process, say you haven't even sat down with them yet. What's going to make them feel really good about booking with you is that you have something like this. Now, if you just send them paper contracts in the mail, that's a little tacky. Usually they're going to send like a check back with it as a deposit. Now, that's number one rule. Don't let these people give you a check to start off with. I always tell my people straight up, bride and groom, I don't want a check from you guys because A, I'm putting vulnerable information of yours out there. I have to be responsible for that check no matter what happens to it. Now, with my Chase Banking, I usually take pictures of all my checks finalizing the event. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, you accept checks at the end of the event. Well, yeah, I'm very trustworthy with my clients, A, because I've never been duped or ripped off, and my contract basically holds them I don't know, by the ankle, or I don't want to say by the neck, 'cause I'm not trying to murder anybody, but, my contract is very intimidating, but in good ways. So, when yes, at the end of the event, I will accept a check, but most, 9 times out of 10, it's cash, money, order, or something like that. Now, always let your bride and groom know you don't want them to send a check. It's just that simple. It's got their account number, their routing number. I don't want to be responsible for that. You don't want to be responsible for that. So let's just get that out of the way. So, when it comes to me booking, say brides and grooms are ready. Let's just skip all the small talk. I first off let them know, hey, booking is easy once they're ready to. I never just say this just because I usually wait for them to say, well, what do we do next? Well, I tell them booking is simple. I'm going to get online, I'm going to draw you up a contract, and I'm going to send it to you through a trusted site. And once they get to their contract, they'll realize that this is way better than pen and paper. So you go to Write Signature. And the first thing that you're going to do, and I'll even show you, is once you have a premium account, it's literally $14.99 a month. It's not that bad. If you do a lot of contracts a month, this is a great tool to have. It's better than drawing it up in Word and then printing it and sending it or scanning it and all that stuff. So basically, you're just going to go to Send Document, and I do apologize for my projector because you can't really see it that well. I tried to focus it as best as possible. You're simply going to come down to Browse, and I'm just going to use the last contract that I had. And you'll find your contract wherever it went. Here's my contract down here. It's already filled out from the last bride I booked literally last night. There's my own. And it's going to load and whatnot. Now down here it's going to say people involved. You can add more people if you want to. But basically right here you're going to put the name of the bride or groom or both and then their email. So once you're done with this is going to go directly to their email. It's just that quick. Down here, description. I usually put your Party Every Night DJ contract. Right here I just keep it simple. It says you can leave a default, please sign this document. I put review, initial, sign, submit your document, and then right after that I put your invoice will follow this message. And the invoice is what I mean by their deposit. And you're actually going to hate me for my deposits for many reasons, but once the contract is uploaded, you can actually click on it and it's going to load and it's going to show you everything about the contract. Now I'm not going to read what's in my contract because that could take forever. But simply, it just shows you what your contract looks like. From there, you literally go over to next step. I'm not going to do that next step because I don't have anybody to send this to. This is going to be something you're just going to have to figure out on your own. But basically, once you go to the next step, it's going to bring your document up in a PDF-looking format. And then over here to the left, you're going to have tools. You're going to have a little thing that looks like an initial box. You're going to have a signature box. You literally just grab the initial box, and what I do is I make them initial next to each paragraph in the contract, especially important ones. So you just simply would come over here, click and hold on that little initial box, and you would just drag it to where you want them to initial on the contract. Same thing, once you get to the bottom, drag the signature one, and then there's going to be a date one. You'll just put the date one next to it. Now if you have multiple people signing, you would just add more boxes for other signatures. And now how they're going to sign it, you would think they're going to type it. No, they actually have to take their mouse, and it's actually really smart. You would think it's like going into Paint, and as you were drawing your name, it would just be all squiggly and crazy. It actually like auto-corrects and knows where you mess up, so it looks like a really, really good signature. Now from there, it's basically going to come over here, and this box will always be here. How many days do you want it to last for? So I always leave it expires in 30 days, but I've already told them, like, if you don't pay your deposit, I'm not going to hold your date. So even when this is signed, nothing is complete until the deposit is paid. Now, how do I pay my deposits? I have a PayPal business account. I would recommend it. It's the best way to get deposits. Like I said, I don't take checks. People want to send you a money order, fine. If people want to hand you cash in person, fine. But with me, a lot of my business is done through social media and Wedding Wire and things like that. So I don't always meet with bride and groom right away. Like I said, because I have that one phone call that just locks them in, and I can just get them to book online. And then what I tell them from there is, all right, and once we're done with this, I'm going to give you some time. You're going to log on to your event planner, which I provide them with DJ Intelligence. Log on to your event planner, and right from there, as soon as I see, because every time they submit something, I get to see it. Once you get to that point where it looks like a lot of your information is filled out, that's when we'll sit down for our final meeting or our final details. I don't really need anything else from you until you're complete with everything on that planning form and your music request. I'm still here for you 24/7, so if you want to call me or text me or something happened and you need to change something, just give me a call. But until you're finished with what you have to do, let's not sit down and meet, because I have so many brides and grooms and I run another business. I have an office and everything, but my time is limited, so I can't sit down with you 5 times before your wedding. It's just as simple as that, and they'll understand that. So make sure you get Right Signature, $14.99 a month. It's well worth it. It's going to save you on paper and ink. I figure it this way. If I was printing contracts on a monthly basis, I would probably be going through at least $14.99 worth of ink, or toner, paper, and just my time alone. It just takes forever to print, envelope, mail, wait, it returns, and then you got to file it. With this, as long as your account's active, your contracts will stay in there. Always. Now, the great thing about this is you can download a PDF version of your contract, so you can just download it and have it on record on your hard drive or something. But this is legit. Like, it actually timestamps it. It snatches their IP address, so it even, without me even knowing, wherever they sign it from, it'll even say, was signed on this date, this hour, this minute, this second, IP address, their location. It even verifies their email. So if they're using like a Gmail, Yahoo, etc., there's no way that you can lie about it. Literally, this is it. This is good if you end up going to court. It's that simple. Usually, you're only going to go to court if you get stiffed in the end, but don't get stiffed in the end. There's ways around that. I don't even need to express or even explain how to not get stiffed. Very, very simple. You can even ask for the money up front before the event. I know a lot of DJ companies do that. You know why I don't? Because I want to treat it like a service. And if I have you pay me before I even do anything, it kind of makes no sense to me. Yeah, you risk getting stiff, but that's what all this before communication and things like that are for. Because you're gonna know if you're gonna get stiffed. You're gonna be something off about the whole situation, like they're trying to win one over on you. But no matter what, if they stiff you, don't worry. That's what your contract's for. And you know what's gonna happen next? You're gonna take them to court, and you're gonna have witnesses. Because there's gonna be people at the staffing agents, or the event planning hall, or the servers, the bartender. Everybody. You have proof that you were there. That's why you take pictures of your events too. I always get a picture with the bride and groom. That way, when it comes down to it, it's like, hey, I was there. It's whatever you want to do. So, get a Right Signature. And the next thing from there, I would suggest, people always wonder, DJs, when I go to meet with the bride and groom, what should I look like? What should I dress like? Well, I would be clean shaven. If you have a nice trimmed beard, that's cool. Nice haircut, etc. But you don't need to dress up, because I guarantee they're not dressing up to impress you, because they're already planning on, hey, it's a wedding reception. I'm the bride, I'm the groom. We're gonna be dressed up, or at least, I know some people wear jeans and boots and cowboy boots and do the whole rustic theme, but that's why you just go out and get some shirts made like this. I probably buy 10 at a time, because sometimes they'll shrink, something will happen to them. But as you can see, This is a digital print, and it's been washed so many times, nothing's ever happened to it. What I recommend for that, if you want a good quality t-shirt that you can design yourself and that gets shipped extremely fast, go to uberprints.com. I've been using them for years for a lot of different stuff, including banners and things like that. You can make hats, you can pretty much do anything. And if you want to get some nice, I mean, they don't even have to be shirts. Like you can get polos made with your name, number. You know, you can put it on the back, front. You can get nice sport jackets with your name and then your company name. You don't have to put anything on the back and be all crazy. But this would be the place to get it. I mean, I don't know anywhere else to get stuff like this except here. And it's a good price and it gets shipped fast. So what are you gonna do? So do that. I mean, that's a good way to do it. So things to keep in mind with this video: writesignature.com, your contract. You know, email me at partyeverynightdjs@gmail.com if you want to see a sample of my contract. My contract is 2 pages long. I know some people's are 3 to 4 pages long. Mine has everything in it you need to have in it, especially my liability clause. If you want to know what one of those looks like, send me an email. I have no problem sending you a shell of my contract, just with things missing, like my logo or things like that. But you can take mine and use it as like a stepping stone, or just use it and replace everything with it's whatever you want to do. I would read through the whole entire contract to point out why I do certain things. That would take forever. Maybe I'll use that just for another video, so it'll only take me 15 minutes. But I would have to do it where I show you my computer screen and go through it, because here you won't even be able to read half the stuff I'm explaining to you. So I just want to give a shout out though to Bob Richards. He sent me an email. Actually, I've been getting a lot of emails lately and thanking me, for the videos and whatnot. I tried to say less this time, so I don't even think I could count on 10 hands if I said it. I just overwhelm myself, and that's just the first thing. It's like muscle memory. So I do apologize for my other videos if I say that a lot. So definitely check those out. Email me, send me questions. I like feedback too, so if you want to send me an email that says, like maybe I'm doing something wrong and what I'm doing doesn't make sense and you have a better way, I'd love to hear it. So go ahead and send me something. Once again, my name's DJ Brock with Party Every Night DJs. 12 years running strong. Over 1,574 events completed just by my lonesome. I think I'm doing all right. So go ahead and ask me any questions. I apologize if it's too long. I can't see how long this one was, but if you subscribed and you watched, thank you so much for that. And I'll hit you up here in the next couple days with another video. I got a lot of great stuff on its way here. I got a lot of great equipment on its way here. And I also have some other tips and tricks, but I don't want to make one whole video that's 3 hours long when I can make a couple that are 25 minutes apiece. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I can't think of anything else that will go along with the contract. They do there you go, trial version. They do a 14-day trial version. I think it might even be 30-day trial version on the Right Signature. So get on that and send a couple documents. You're going to see how easy this is. You're going to have a bride or groom that's going to want to book sometime this month. Wedding season's on its way. You're going to use this, and you're never going to look back once you use this. It is so easy. It files it for you. And even if you cancel your subscription, which I had to do one time, just because I was in my off season, and I was like, why am I going to pay for this when I don't want to book? Like, there's months where like November and December, I don't want to book anything because that's like family time for me. So I canceled it and then restarted it, and all my contracts were still there. So you can't beat that. So get a Right Signature. Get DJ Intelligence if you don't have it. If you've ever seen DJEventPlanner.com or it's something similar to that, it's a waste of time. Don't buy that or do that one. DJ Intelligence is so much simpler. And then, of course, get a PayPal merchant account. You can send invoices online doing that. I mean, if you still want to receive checks, that's your ass. And then uberprints.com if you want to get some custom-made t-shirts that you can design yourself that are shipped quick and are good quality. So check that out. She's cute. We'll see you later. Thanks.